Hey everybody, it's Mr. Allen from the Smith Hill Library here in Providence, Rhode Island, part of the Providence Community Library. And today's model building workshop, we're going to be looking at the Bloch MB 200. This is from the model kit Smer, not sure how it's pronounced, and it's in 1/72nd scale. I came across this on the internet while looking for something completely different, and which is the fun of the internet, isn't it? And I was familiar with this company, but not for this particular kit. I had no idea they made this. So I'm familiar with Smer from doing 1/48 scale aircraft, because I was working on some Italian fighter planes in World War II, and I found that the line that they had were some interesting model kits that had a little less detail than some of the specialty market limited run kits that are out there with the resin parts and the photo etch and some of that, which are fun, but sometimes I like a simple build just for kicks, and I found that Smer had some good stuff in 1/48 for that. But as I started looking through their website catalog, I discovered a lot of other things that they had. Now, I also knew that they did some reboxing a lot of the old Heller kits, but they've got a much more expansive catalog than that. So what I'm hearing from this kit is that this was from KP Models, the Czech model company from way back, from the communist era. So they took the molds from that, but apparently in this boxing, they have improved it by adding new parts, which from what I hear from other model builders that looked at this, it improved the kit quite a bit. So let's take a look and see what's in here. And out of curiosity, let's see. Smer is from Prague, Czechoslovakia. Okay. So in the box, we get quite a bit of stuff here. Anything else? No. So we get, actually doesn't look too bad to me. I don't know if you can see some of that. Doesn't look too bad for detail. Kind of on par with Heller, I think. And some parts here. I think these are optional cowlings. These look like newer parts and some different types of engine pieces, I believe. And there's a big bag full of the fuselage bits and the wing parts. Clear parts are here. I think that's where they made a lot of changes, which I'll show you in the instructions. And look at these beautiful decals that come with this. Let's have a look at the instructions. A little history about the Bloch 200, designed in 32. First prototype flew in June of 33. And despite its insufficient speed, it was still chosen and mass-produced by the Pote company, instead of Bloch, actually, interesting. And they'd made 25 planes by the end of 33, and the airplanes entered service at the end of 1934, and then 12 French squadrons had been stocked with them, and 208 of these airplanes are made in France by several different companies. And it was considered a simply constructed but relatively reliable aircraft before the outbreak of World War II. But by World War II, they were already considered outdated because of low speed, weak defensive armament, and the engines just weren't powerful enough. But the aircraft was serving mainly as trainers by World War II. At least that's what it says here. I've read some other things in some books on this plane. Some of them were still doing other duties at the start of World War II. But anyhow, let's look at the model. So here's your parts breakdown. It does suggest, don't use these parts, use some other ones. So you get that idea right up front. It's nice with the painting instructions, not only do they give you the paint call-out numbers, but they actually tell you what the colors are. Because I get really tired of looking at these instructions that just have paint numbers and that's it. It's nice to have something that you go, oh, that's green, that's dark sand. Okay, thanks, it gives me an idea before I go digging for the reference number. Okay, so it starts working on the interior, and these are the new, apparently the newer pieces here that I think are glass, the plastic glass that you would need to paint. But supposedly they take care of the not so great cockpit design of the original KP kit. And there's an option here for machine guns. Apparently you can do 1 or 2 machine guns in the turrets. I'm not familiar with a 2 machine gun turret version, at least not in my books, but it does reference one in the painting instructions that had different gun configuration. And then we get into, again, typical of some of these early war French bombers and reconnaissance aircraft. You get this complicated box-shaped fuselage. It has all these different partitions, so you get all that to work on. It kind of continues on to here. And this is kind of a tough blow-up to look at here. And unlike the 210, the wing on this one is like a parasol design, so it's on top, not sitting on the bottom like the later 210 does. And again, this one has fixed landing gear. Makes for an interesting look to it. It's the kind of thing you'd expect to see in an Indiana Jones movie. You know? I know I'm dating myself here, but that's kind of what I think of 1930s adventure films, you know, or based on the 30s, I should say. So then you get the fixed undercarriage and some bombs you can put on there. And then for me, the fun part, which unfortunately these are in black and white, but you can go online and get color pictures. I did find them online that show the markings, you know, so you can see them in bright colors, give you a better idea what this is supposed to look like. So this one is from the Vichy French Air Forces in Syria. So this would have been late 1940, maybe 1941. I know there was some fighting in Syria and Lebanon, that area, with the British around 41, I believe. So this aircraft has a yellow tail, typical of Vichy aircraft, and it's got a gray underside, and it's got, you know, the green, typical green of the French 1930s bomber colors, but this has been overpainted with some sand camouflage. Not familiar with them doing that, but it does look really interesting when you see this in color. It looks like a pretty cool scheme. I just thought most of them were just left in overall green and then added the yellow, but it seems like they did make some efforts to camouflage some of these planes, which is true. And some of the ones that were in France started to get the gray, green, and brown overspray, usually with a black underside for night bombing, but I guess things are a little different out in Syria. And then there's 2 other 1930s designs here, you know, with the fun designs on the fuselage, because they weren't putting the roundels on the fuselage in the 30s. They just didn't do that until the Battle of 1940, and they started putting them on. So in 39, they were still using, you know, this type of look would have been common by 39. And one of these has the twin guns. I think it's the one on the bottom, which has a different engine configuration. It's probably this one here, has different cowlings. As you can see, this smaller, different design. So just want to have a quick chat today and show you what this was. This looks like it's going to be an interesting build. And I ordered this through eBay, got this out of Poland. Not sure how things are going with eBay in other places in Eastern Europe right now. but I did pick this up, what, in early February of 2022, so I don't know. Anyway, looks like a fun kit. Once again, let's look at some of those fun markings. A lot of cool choices with this kit, and looks like it'll be fun. Okay, folks, that's today's model building workshop. Just a quick sneak peek at the Bloch MB 200. All right, we will see you soon. Take care, stay safe, keep on building. All right, see you till next time. Bye now.